Narcissistic people don't do responsibility. What they do is lots of different mind games in order to get away with their behaviour, because they feel entitled to do as they please. They lack the empathy to care about how their behaviour will negatively impact those around them. They're just incredibly exploitative, and if they believe that there's going to be some form of consequences for their actions, although they might believe these consequences are unjust, they will look for ways to get away with it, so that they don't have to face the consequences, because they believe that they were entitled to do as they please. It's second nature to them to play these games, because why should they have to pay because of your stupidity to a narcissist? Now, when you've dealt with a narcissistic person, you are not stupid. We can be naive, as in we lack the awareness. However, when we have the awareness and we then choose to no longer play their games, a narcissist will then just claim that we're the awkward one, because they can no longer manipulate and get what they want from us, because to a narcissist, nothing is ever their fault, it's always somebody else's fault. So a few mind games that a narcissist will play in order to get away with their behaviour. And one of the first of these is their gaslighting, where they're looking to create that self-doubt within you. However, more often than not, the narcissist believes they are right. They don't see the set of circumstances that leads up to it. What they do is they feel offended that you're not giving them the attention they want. They go all out to provoke that jealousy within you. You go and explain how you feel. They accuse you of being jealous, and they feel smug that, they're jealous. They want me. They care about me. They don't see the lead up. They just see you as the jealous one. And then as they're accusing you of being the jealous one and you're feeling jealous, you can think, yep, it's me. I'm the one that needs to change. A narcissistic person will go all out to project onto you. They will blame you for their own faults, flaws, mistakes, insecurities. Narcissistic people have major trust issues, possibly due to who they are. They can be paranoid, and they're going to create that paranoia within you. They're going to gaslight you. They're going to, if they've had a bad day, they're going to come in and go all out to wind you up to get that reaction from you. And then once they've got that reaction, they feel quite smug and they look quite happy. And they're like, oh, what's wrong with you? Somebody had a bad day. They love to project out onto you. They go all out to manipulate through guilt and shame. So if you call them out, they try and make you feel guilty for daring to call them out. They accuse you of looking through their things, of not trusting them. Or they go all out to make you feel ashamed for your thoughts, for your feelings, to make you feel ashamed for basically recognizing their behavior. They can turn on that charm and that charisma. They can turn on that charismatic charm, even down to the laughter, the flirtation, anything and everything to win you back on side so that they can continue to get away with their behaviour. They can go for denial. They can just deny all forms of responsibility. They can just refuse to acknowledge any part they played, refuse to acknowledge any faults, any failings. They can deflect responsibility onto somebody else, which is their blame shifting. They're going to go all out to either blame you or blame somebody else for their failings. They're going to look to try and get a scapegoat to take the fall so they don't have to take responsibility. Narcissistic people who have separated from their partners and have children are very good at this. They fail to show up for their children at appropriate times. They fail to provide for their children. They fail to care for their children. They drive the other parent to a point where the other parent feels the safest option for their children is not to see the other parent, and then they play the victim that, oh, they won't let me see my child. They fail to pay to provide for their children, yet accuse the other parent of being greedy. Now, on the flip side of that, if you have 50-50 custody, nobody should realistically be paying anybody, because you've got the child 50% of the time. So you're paying for the child's food, the roof over the head, half of their activities, their clothing. This is a 50-50 split. However, a narcissistic parent who wants that 50-50 but doesn't want to deal with the responsibility then expects you to pay them, even though they don't actually need any money. So we have to look closely into the entirety of the situation, and technically we shouldn't make a judgment on things that are none of our business. Narcissistic individuals go all out to play the victim, to feign victimhood in any given situation so that they can gain the sympathetic attention, so that they can deflect responsibility onto somebody else. And when a narcissistic individual is no longer allowed to see their children, there's no better way to play the victim, because people automatically have that compassion towards the narcissist and want to help and support the narcissist, especially when they can't recognise who the narcissistic individual actually is. They will go all out to create chaos, to create drama for those daring to stand up to them. So whenever you do dare to stand up to a narcissistic individual, whenever you dare to call them out, they make your life miserable. They make it a living hell. So you almost feel like it would be better off just to let things slide, let them get away with it. It's easier than struggling with the games that they're going to come at you with if you dare to stand up to them. They will go all out to create competition between people so that they can either get people buying for the narcissist's attention, or so that they can play people off against each other, gaining that sympathetic attention from one to gain an enabler to dislike the other. There's lots of different games that narcissistic individuals play in order to get away with their behaviour. And the games that they play, as some of the circumstances can actually be accurate, can actually be a victim dealing with a narcissistic person, it's very difficult to differentiate, which is why you just need to take a step back and look at somebody's patterns of behaviour. Look at what they actually take responsibility for, whether they try to change to improve themselves for the things that they're taking responsibility for, or whether they blame others and expect other people to change for them. Whether they can take on board somebody else's opinion, whether they can handle any form of criticism, whether they can respect a boundary. Because when you've been around a narcissistic individual, survivors can tend to find it very challenging to take on board criticism due to being criticised and mocked and devalued, and they can react negatively. However, with a narcissistic individual, one thing they really don't like is the word no. When you're trying to work out whether you're potentially dealing with a narcissist or not, don't say no just for saying no's sake, but when you get the opportunity to say no, see how they react to it. Now, some are a little more cunning than others, so if you've only just met them, they might seem to handle it okay, or they might go through the trying to make you feel guilty. Oh, I was really hoping that would be, but it's okay, it doesn't matter, honestly, it's absolutely fine. The best advice is just to take things slow and get to know people for who they are and not who they're selling themselves to be. If anyone has any thoughts on this video, please do add those into the comments for people reading through. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. I do also have several books out on Amazon: 50 Rules to Deal with Narcissistic People If You Cannot Go No Contact, a Narcissists Handbook, which is the ultimate guide to understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, and how to create boundaries around those who have no respect for your boundaries. They'll be in the description also if you'd like to take a look at those. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.